Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Plebcast, a new podcast that entirely dedicated to the LPL, to two teams specifically in the LPL. I'm Vash, the host. Here on the blue side is Miles David, and on the right side
Yo, yo.
is Slayer, my two personal analysts that will help me to ascertain how things are going in the LPL, how these teams are doing, and moving forwards, what are their challenges and what will happen when they face each other. So, as this is a new scene, I'm gonna do a small introduction. I'm Vash. I'm just an Italian bread maker, let's say, and I do this for a hobby. And I'm gonna be the host. And now to you, Miles.
Yeah, my name is Miles David. I have to turn the big brain on, the analyst brain on, because I usually turn it off. But anyway, yeah, I'm currently a League of Legends and Valorant caster in the NA amateur scene. So you can usually find me there casting in the tier 3 scene in NA. And yeah, I do a lot of. I'm very much an LPL enthusiast and a Korean Valorant enthusiast. So good to be here. Thanks for the invite, Bash.
All right, and now to Slayer. Give us a little introduction,
Okay.
mate.
Well, I'm Slayer X, and I am a small-time esports writer, but a big-time esports enthusiast. So
Hey, there we
you know,
go.
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's kind of my thing, following esports, especially League, because I've been playing League for years now. So yeah, so big League of Legends esports fan, and let's get right to it, guys.
All
Let's get
right.
on.
Yeah, let's go on. Okay, so as an introduction to the format, we're gonna analyze two teams per week, and we're gonna take a look at what their schedule was, what their accomplishments are this far into the split. Then we're gonna move on to the recent form concerning the last week matches. So for EDG, in this case, for EDG, we're gonna watch their we're gonna talk about their matches against
Yes.
TT and OMG. And for RNG, we're gonna talk about their matches against LGD and IG for week 5 of the LPL. And
I
then
guess
we're
we can
gonna
also talk about like the EDG match today, right?
yeah
That
because
just happened.
this week we're gonna be cheating a bit because we're recording on a Monday, and EDG has already played their first match of week 6 against LGD. And then we're gonna move
I
on
mean, I
to
mean, I, I,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone's opinions changed with that.
Oh no,
No
Yeah,
one's
true.
opinion.
it
Fair enough.
spoiler alert, it was a stomp. And then moving ahead, we're gonna take a look at what their matchup will be in the current week, so in week 6, as they're gonna be playing on Sunday at circa 1 p.m. Central European time. And then we're gonna take a look at what their schedule is gonna be, what our expectations are for the teams. So, without further ado, I would like to ask you, Miles. I mean, we've seen EDG start the season very strong. We've seen them beat pretty much everyone, regardless of the opposition they faced, regardless of
Mhm.
how whether we consider them a good team, a top contender, just an absolute smacking of the entire LPL, except for one series, which personally is the best series I've seen the whole summer,
Yeah,
summer
it
split.
was a banger. It was a banger, definitely against TS.
Yep.
Scout was doing his best to carry that game, man. That game 3 was wild. It was super wild, and EDG. It could have gone either way, right? Either EDG or TS could have definitely won that series. Right now, EDG do look like the most dominant team in the LPL. Looks like, honestly, it looks like they might even win the championship. The thing is, EDG regular season and EDG playoffs feel so different. I need bashes
Yeah,
already.
it's a suffering
So,
every time. It's a suffering every
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Slayer, you got something to say on that? Because
Oh, I mean, my only problem with EDG is like last split we saw. Hey, EDG was doing really well. EDG was at the top. EDG went to playoffs. All of a sudden, things started going off. Now, I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen again, but they look better in certain aspects. They
yeah,
look
true.
better. Like their versatility, they've gotten more versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Viper and Mako, they play multiple different combinations in that bot lane. JJ has gotten better as a player. He's gotten better as a jungler. I'd argue he's one of the top 3 junglers in this split, if not the best at the moment. He's been playing outstanding. Flandre has improved. Scout is still the same. So it's like EDG has improved, but it goes back to the TES and EDG series once again. This split, the one series they lost. It happened because TES kept throwing curveballs at them. It's like Karsa game one was pretty much smurfing on them. Diana engages, Moonfall, boom, everyone's dead. Like
Yeah.
Karsa had a spectacular game one. Scout did his best in game two. Didn't happen. TES beat them 2-0, but that's more of a credit to TES as opposed to EDG. Like
Definitely.
while EDG played well enough, but TES just turned out better. And we all know what TES is.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? That's the thing, right? TS, kind of a team that has a very high skill ceiling that we don't know can reach, but they just never reach it all the time. They did against
Exactly.
this particular season against EDG.
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now, and as you said,
They
EDG is the
replicated
most
it. I don't think they replicated it. They haven't.
No,
It's
not
like
yet.
TS played that one series that they look outstanding on, like top notch, 100 or 100. After that, nothing.
Okay,
they
but
lost to Suning next.
yeah, then they lost to Suning because, of course, they lost to Suning. Back as a moment to EDG. So we've seen that the formula to beat them could be throwing curveballs at them or just high mechanical prowess. We've seen as an example, yeah, here in the TES game, we've seen the entire team just completely step up and smurf on them. But even then, it was a really even matchup in skill
Yeah.
and in how they matched each other on the map. So Miles, I'd like you to explain to us, and then say you can help us understand what are the main strengths of this EDG team that we are looking forward to, and that made them so dominant so far in the LPL.
Pretty simple, right? EDG are calm, cool, and collected as a team. They basically they know the basic fundamentals of how to play League of Legends. It's just that sometimes if you, yeah, as Slayer said before, if you throw them off even a little bit with some weird stuff, like suddenly Karsa overperforming, let's say, on TES with Diana, or like giving them some strange maneuvers that they're not expecting, they can just fall apart super easily. Which makes them, I don't know, it makes them super Korean in that sense. You know what I mean?
They are like a Korean team. It's like
Right?
they are like a Korean
Right?
team. They are probably the most cleanest team in the LPL. They're really clean. They do not make mistakes. They have the lowest kill average in the LPL out of all the teams. They will not fight unless they need to. But I think their biggest strength is not really their, how they're clean, how they rotate, how if they lose in one side of the map, they go to the other side of the map, try to get an advantage out of it. That's not their greatest strength. Their greatest strength is actually once they get a lead, how they play about it. Like I think their biggest key point that if anyone watches EDG's games, their biggest strong point is actually Flandre. Because if Flandre gets ahead, and in today's series, like against Game 2, which was a complete stomp,
Yeah.
it was actually Flandre on Nocturne who got ahead, and then he was completely everywhere. He was everywhere. He just turned up everywhere. He's like, I own this place now. So it's like when you get this type of situation and you unlock your top laner roams everywhere, you unlock Scout and Scout roams everywhere, you're creating so many avenues that it's like a mismatch on sidelines, and EDG just stomps those. It's
Yeah.
like that's the thing. Like if you can stop that, maybe you hamper EDG to a certain extent, but they're still a very clean team. They'll still take advantages. It's just, can you stop them?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it reminds you of like SKT back in the old days when they just choke you out completely as soon as they get one
Exactly.
foothold in the door.
Yeah, they're like they're not they. I don't think macro wise they have a flaw. Like they're very good at split pushing. They're very good at team fighting. They're very good at vision control. They're very good at knowing where they win and where they don't. Like the TES series again. The reason Flandre never got ahead is because Karsa kept going back there. Karsa's been like, okay, let's go back there. Knight can handle Scout. and I have confidence Jackie Love and Yo can match Viper and Mako. Like not completely hard lose that match.
I thought you were gonna say you're confident that Jackalope would end at some point in the game.
Yeah. To be fair, it's something to be expected when playing against TES. Jackie Love usually does that. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, go on. I
No,
mean,
no,
to be
sorry.
fair, Jackie Love, yeah. To be fair, Jackie Love hasn't quite played as well in TES's side, but that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
But the thing is, EDG has very good players. They're a very good roster. They have good players across the board. They know how they win. They have different picks. Scout has played multiple picks. So has Andre. So has Giorgio. So has Viper. So has Mako. Like, team drafting wise, no problem. Cleanliness, no problem. Versatility, no problem. What's their problem? Curveballs. You throw them down a rabbit hole, where do they go?
Yeah. I think it's. I think when we consider what we've seen what we've said up until now, it's something that's also happened, I guess, in other games they had. If we think about, well, not the last week, it was complete stomps. The one day they played against RNG, RNG was able to take a game off of sorry, this is TES. I'm sorry. Sorry, rookie mistake. God damn it. Nah, but
that's fine.
now
First
if we
podcast,
go,
let's go.
I'm
I
actually
think they
just
lost
gonna
3
go.
games in general. I
Yeah.
think they lost 3 games in general.
Yeah.
One of the games I remember was first week against BLG. That was the first game.
It's the blessing of PP God.
But
yeah, bless PP God. Now, actually, that first series was probably the most competitive they had up until the TS series. I've been rewatching it, and I must say it was probably the most competitive. They were kept even by BLG, but then they turned it around and won. So, okay, so now we have a decently clear picture of what EDG is, how their tempo is immaculate, their macro is really good, their presence on the map is all really good. Personally, I think, I don't know if you guys agree, whenever I see JJ, I see his movement on the map, and it's like he has map hacks on, because every time an enemy gank is anywhere on the map, he's there. He's already there. It's insane.
I'm assuming it's because JJ is someone who really studies the pathing of other junglers, or that information is somehow fed to him by an analyst or something like that allows him to make decisions like that on the fly. But his decision making has been really good in general, like for the past whole split. But as you said, I don't know, man. EDG, they've disappointed me every time I see them.
I know.
I'm one of those people who'll be like, okay, I do not actually account for the past, like to the future.
Yeah, I know. It's illogical. It's completely illogical.
Yeah, because it's like saying Misfits is doing well in EU, but because they choked before, that means they're gonna choke now. It's like,
well, they are choking now.
Oh, they are. They are choking
really
now. Like, yeah, it's doomed. It's doomed. EDG lost in playoffs.
Yeah.
Lost in playoffs.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I do think everyone is in agreement that EDG right now is the best team
in the world.
The LPL.
Right. Let's say it in the world. Like, let's be clear.
In the world?
It's the best team in the world. Like, considering
That's
how much team.
That's a stretch.
I don't know, man.
It is?
Looking at the LCK teams right now, I don't think any of those teams are as solid as EDG.
I mean, last year as well, no one expected DK to really win.
I actually did. I thought that DK coming into Worlds were clear cut the best team in the world. Like, their read on the meta was.
Slayer?
You didn't? You thought
I
that?
did.
No, I thought TES or JDG would win it because they were literally like lights out.
Yeah.
I see your point. And I see an argument for that, but I still had the feeling like JDG would win. I don't know. Not JDG. DK. Sorry.
Yeah.
One gaming back then.
For me, it was seeing Yuyanja and saying, this man can't win a world championship. It's not gonna happen. I am so glad he is gone off the roster. Praise you. But this is a conversation for another time when we're gonna talk about TES, and then I can flame Yuyanja for being Yuyanja and losing them games at Worlds. It was insane. Their Lux performance was so bad. Okay,
Yeah.
so speaking of another team that tends to disappoint a lot in summer, we move on to
Oh
our
my
MSI
gosh.
champions, RNG,
Oh
which,
boy.
well, let's just say that their start of the split was what most people would consider not ideal. Let's put it in a very mild way. Despite having taken another the first week off due to quarantine, and you can say, okay, they had issues due to the pandemic. They couldn't practice in their offices. They had to practice on bad internet. All the justifications you can give them. The fact that in the first 4 weeks their only win was against Rogue Warriors, yeah,
I mean, they're already
kinda
doing
rough.
better than IG in that regard, yeah.
We don't talk about IG. Anyway,
Yeah,
We
all right.
will, but not now.
Okay.
We
yeah,
will.
RNG,
yeah.
I'm gonna give them a bit of slack because of as you said, I don't know, maybe the RNG org is cursed or something. They just fall flat in the next part of the year after spring. But yeah, it's super fortunate. But going back to the real reason why things kind of screwed them
Mhm.
over, it's yet because yeah, the quarantine, as you said, that would really screw with your synergy. Like even Mad Linus, I think they talked about it where they couldn't like play together as a team together in one location. I think that's really
This was different though. Matt's case was different though
Was it?
because
what
Matt
was
had
magic.
Matt's case was different because they actually had 2 quarantines. So they quarantined for 28 days.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Oh,
They had stuff. They had stuff in
and
between, so it makes
They
it even worse.
like if anyone watched last week, like this week's games, the last week games of Matt,
Mhm.
Matt looked better. Matt looked much better after they got out of quarantine because they're playing together now. But the
Yep.
point is, they were all separately quarantined for 28 days.
yeah,
That's that's a
that
moral killer. That's a killer.
Yeah,
yeah, I agree. But like
Yeah.
even if it's not to that same extent, at least
Mhm.
it probably would have affected RNG just a bit,
Mhm.
even though since they would have to quarantine separately too. I'm assuming if they come to China, I'm not sure. Someone probably on Reddit will correct me and flame me for for
So
speculating on that detail. But
I don't think they have to quarantine separately. I think they have to quarantine.
As
They
a
can
team.
quarantine together as long as they come together as a team,
Yeah,
okay,
like
okay,
IG and like Nofe and the Shy did.
yeah.
okay,
Well,
that's a
they
bit
were in
better then.
Korea, so yeah. No, I think
No, they
they.
did come together. They did come back together.
Oh, okay. There, but
Okay,
yeah, no. I think
yeah,
RNG
but
just had to like practice in a secondary facility because their main facility didn't have internet or something like that. But anyway, still, we have seen RNG struggle a lot, and I mean a lot with what seemed to be the new meta. So,
Yeah.
what's your guys' take on this? The struggle so
so you
far.
want to take it first?
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
want to
I'll
take it
take it
first?
first. I'll take it first. Like Miles said, he's gonna give RNG a slack. I'm not. Like RNG,
I'm a
like
merciful person.
no. I'm not going to show any mercy because what they're showing right now,
Mhm.
and which I have a problem with, is they are not showing that they've adapted to the meta. They're
Mhm.
completely out of it. Like we saw in MSI, like Wei was pulling out the Rumble, right? Wei was pulling out the Rumble. Wei was smurfing on Rumble. Wei was playing the Morgana. Wei was playing all of that. Wei looked good.
Mhm.
Coming back here, he started picking Olaf.
Yep.
Didn't he
Now,
play Olaf
now
in MSI too?
It
no,
did.
he did, but I think he did once or twice.
Yeah,
But the
probably.
thing is, he's been defaulting to Olaf as of recent every time he has to make a jungle pick. It's kind of baffling when you consider the fact that Jin Zhao is probably banned at times, so
Mhm.
let's ignore Jin Zhao for a while.
Yeah.
But if you consider champions like Rumble is left open almost every single time, you could pick up the Rumble. The Rumble is open. Pick it up. It's there. No one's really countering it. Then you have stuff like the Diana. He doesn't often go for it. And then you have
I'm gonna
other
actually
champions.
I'm gonna actually correct you there. Sorry, just a second. Diana is actually second most played champion this split. He had 5 games of Olaf and 4 games of Diana, so he is going for it, just not to a great success.
Not to a great success, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that the picks he has had success with
Mhm.
is Olaf. That's it.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes to how RNG as a whole has not adapted to the meta. They clearly don't have a good understanding of how to play around this new situation of AP junglers, AD mids, and
Yeah.
partly because of that is because of Crying's champion.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about crying.
Yeah, you
This
go
guy-
on.
I'm not gonna bash it. I'm not gonna bash him. I'm not gonna flame him. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, true. Of
But the
course.
thing is, it's like it's a certain situation where RNG is caught between a situation where they have to always give Xiaohu the AD carries. Such as he's played a lot of Viego, as far as I know.
Yep.
He's played a bunch of Viego. He's played a
Mhm.
what is the second most champion played?
Lee Sin is
Shadows.
his most played is Lee Sin with 6 picks, and then it's Viego with 5. Then he
Yeah,
has
but
4 Gwens. But
yeah. But you see, he's playing a lot of 80 tops to balance out the fact that Crying can't play anything else but Oriana's and the
Lucian,
save
I guess.
control mage,
Yeah.
control mage mid laners. I
Yeah.
mean, except Lucian, but that's
Yeah.
Lucian.
well, now Miles can flame. You flame Crying to your heart's content, Miles.
Okay, I'm not gonna flame Cryan, honestly. I think Cryan is actually on an upward trajectory looking at the way he's been playing nowadays. Especially with the games that RNG has been winning. I mean, they've been fighting some pretty decent opponents. I'd say besides Road Warriors, of course, they fought OMG. They won against them. They beat who's their most recent one?
IG.
Yeah, they beat IG. Okay, it's IG. Yeah, I get it. But this is a team that on the this is a team that on the best days they can beat they can beat the best of the best also in the LPL. So I definitely like the fact that RNG is able to beat them too.
Mm.
Especially since Crane is fighting against Rookie and he actually carried that game, right? So
Yeah.
honestly, I think also the fact that in the early part of the this of the summer split, Crane was pretty much left without zero resources from Wei
Mhm.
from when I was watching him. So he pretty much got put on an island in the mid lane. As the mid laner, he got put on an island and he got ultimately screwed by a lot of better quote unquote better mid laners that he had to play against like Toynbee and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So he definitely got screwed in that regard. But I do think that he's starting to play a lot better now, and I think he's going to be in an upward trajectory because Riot has been buffing the mage items. I
True.
think mages might be back in meta soon. At least maybe by Worlds we'll see it again.
Mm.
It's still speculation though, of course.
Yeah.
It might not be what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure it will happen.
But
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not sure
yeah.
it will happen. Yeah, I'm not sure because the jungle meta will have to change. The jungle
Yeah.
meta is really what's causing the shift. It's not mid lane. Like mages are still fine. Anyone
Yeah.
seen Ryze's damage? Anyone seen Ryze's damage at mid game?
Yep.
Ryze can murder a team fight alone. It's just him. So I think the problem is because you're playing with stuff like the Dianas, the Rumbles, or stuff
Yeah.
like that, then you have to sort of default to this, Renekton mids, Lee Sin mids,
Yeah.
and the whole lot.
Viego. Viego, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think Viego will be played win anymore because of the nerfs. Like his healing took a bad hit. His healing took a bad hit.
I mean, I hope we see less Viego because we've seen even today.
Oh no, we're not gonna stop
disgusting.
saying Viego. We're not gonna stop saying Viego. He's gonna be there.
Let a man hope. And just to compound.
I mean, all I'll say is don't worry. In a few patches later, we're gonna see another champion, which is gonna be batshit broken in action. We're gonna see another one. We're gonna see another one.
And another
That's
one.
for Ashcan.
And another one.
I'm actually waiting for Ashcan. I know he's excited for that one.
Let's.
I mean, imagine action in the top lane with
Please
that
no.
mobility.
Please
He's
no.
going to murder people.
Please no. Well,
that's going to happen.
Well, to compound your point a moment, and then to move to the, to what is the most recent schedule, as we talked about. Just want to focus a bit more on the. Can I just say one thing to Mike's point? One thing to Mike's point that is interesting. Maybe it's worth discussing as well. As you said, Crying gets less resources from the team, and this is mirrored in the fact that his gold percentage on the team is 19.8% of the total gold of the team, which is like you have Wei has 19.7% of the gold, so almost 20%. And then most of the resources go into Gala with a 24% and into Xiaohu as a 23%. So we can see even from this that Crying is the sacrificial lamb in these occasions, and that also doesn't help the situation. He's clearly uncomfortable, in my opinion, on some of the bruiser picks. He has defaulted to the Karma, the Galio, the Oriana, the LeBlanc, and he tries to shy away from these meta picks. And as you said, this forces the adaptation from Wei into picking then the Olaf, the AD junglers that he plays. Go on, Slayer.
So my last thing is what I'm going to talk about RNG is I'm glad that the recent form has been very good. Like Miles said, they've recently won. They've recently won convincingly. Like they've been convincing wins. The other thing I'm concerned about is that Spring Split Gala was really good. Probably like at the top. Summer Split Gala, not so much. That's a problem. That's a problem. Like Ming's been playing really well. Ming's kept his
Ming and
level.
Xiaohu are still the
Xiaohu is probably the best. Xiaohu is the best player in RNG. It's like
by far.
By far. Wei's had his ups and downs. Ryan's had his ups and downs. Gala's the one I'm concerned with because like Gala's not been consistent. Gala is like no. The whole thing is remember. I don't know if you guys remember that play. That play where Gala was trying to escape with the blast plant and he just shot himself up.
Oh god, yes, I just remembered it. Oh, oh no.
He was trying to escape and he just blast planted himself upwards.
No.
And it's just like, you're right. Like, what was that? Like, Gala kept getting caught in a lot of situations like these games, and it's a concern. It's a very big concern, especially for RNG, and especially if you're throwing like 24% of your resources to Gala, and he's like out of position, and someone comes and kills him. Like EDG is going to bounce on that. EDG is going to jump on that, and they play EDG this week.
Yeah. I mean,
they play EDG this week or next week. I don't remember, but they play EDG
this week.
Yeah, EDG is going to jump on that if Gala does that.
Oh,
EDG is going to completely say, Gala's there, he's weak, let's get him.
Yeah, and this actually serves as a good natural transition, thanks later to the upcoming matchup EDG versus RNG. As we said, it's going to be played on Sunday. It's the third match of the day after LNG, OMG, and JDG Suning. And starting exactly from the bot lane, again, I'm going to look to stats and I'm going to ask you to maybe help me give context to these stats. Yeah, because we see that both teams allocate pretty much the same amount of resources into their AD carries. We're talking like a quarter of the entire gold value of the team goes into the AD carry. 24.1% for Gala and 24.6% for Viper. But on the one hand, you have Gala doing 1/4 of this team damage, less than Xiao. Xiao usually is the main damage threat of the team.
Yep.
On the other hand, you have EDG, where Viper does 1/3 of the team's total damage on team. So you can see the slight skew on the damage here.
It's a bit, yeah.
Slight is an understatement, but yeah, slight is an understatement.
There's a bit of a difference. Also, the other thing concerning the bot lane that I'm actually pretty concerned about, and I think teams don't exploit enough. Like we've seen against RNG, the most banned champions are Lucian, Ezreal, and then Renekton.
Mm-hmm.
One champion we don't see banned that I would like to see teams ban more against RNG specifically is Nautilus, because that's Ming's go-to. Ming has played in 20 games, he's played 9 games for Nautilus. He has shown, in a certain way, much less versatility in how he plays and how he plays with Gala than what Viper and Mako bring. And Viper and Mako, they have played everything. They've played the Senna Karma with Mako farming on the Karma. They played the Ezreal Leona. They played the Virus with Leona and Nautilus. They played the Calist. They played the Callistas. They played the Kaiser. They played the Koglulu. They even played Draven which is extremely good. We've seen into matchups like the Kalista, and Kalista at the moment is Gala's best champion. He has 3 wins out of 3 games on Kalista. And you have to know that if you go into Viper and Mako, they can bust out that, or they can even bust out the Cog Lulu, which I think is a winning lane into the Kalista lanes because you outrange that much. But
Yeah.
let's start from the bot lane. And Miles, let's give me a rundown of the bot lane, please.
Yeah, here's the thing though. RNG, if they don't have the versatility of EDG, right? What they do default to is going for those dive comps with Gala going in on Kaisa and of course Ming going on the Nautilus. So definitely it makes them a bit one-dimensional. Here's the thing though. They're really good at that style. Like insanely good at that style. That the fact that, they don't even really need to win draft per se. If they can just punch through EDG, that may be their key in. Of course, that's I can say that, but putting it to practice is another thing, especially against with how regular season EDG is playing it right now. I'm putting regular season in as the caveat because I still. What do you think, Slayer?
Well, the rogue asterisk has certainly gone on to EDG. My thing with EDG is, and EDG versus RNG, especially the bot lane. It's that my concern with as you said, Gala and Ming have been very one-dimensional. It's a Nautilus, Kaisa or Nautilus, or Kalista or Nautilus. Like it's been Nautilus, but it's like the 3 bans you mentioned, Vash. I don't think you can leave one of them off. Either of them off is because one, if you keep the Lucian off, RNG is gonna pick Lucian.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because then that opens up way to play AP junglers.
Mm-hmm.
That's avenue number 1.
Yeah.
They can't leave off Ezreal because Ezreal is undoubtedly the strongest ADC in this meta. Like in and out. It's like he's not dominating in lane, but his damage throughout the game is always good, and once he gets the Divine Sunder and the Muramana, he deals damage like a truck.
Yep.
He can kill any single champion, like whether it be a tank or anything. Like you can't leave that up. Then this comes to the question of Renekton. Like if you leave off Renekton, would you want Xiao on Renekton? Like that's not it. Or Crying can play a Renekton. He can play Renekton.
Mm.
So you're then opening up way in that sense. So you're not really leaving that off. So you're putting Crying in these AP control mages, which Scout can exploit.
Yeah.
Which then forces Ming to pick something like a Nautilus or a Leona, right? And then Gala will have to pick something like a Kalista, which you said can be countered by Draven.
Yeah.
Viper's already played it. Or he can play the Kaisa. Against what? Like, that's the thing. EDG's bot lane has been so versatile.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be even surprised if they picked up Ziggs as well in that matchup. If they picked up Ziggs.
They have it in the practice room already. I bet. They have it in their pocket.
I mean, I think every LPL every team in the world already has that in their practice team.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out how to make this work, right? Like I also think it's a very good answer to Varus.
Yep.
It's a very good answer to Varus. Like Varus is very immobile. You can completely demolish him while he's charging his Q. You can't do that. Like Varus is very weak with that. Which is why, like, I don't know where I saw it, but I think it was the LCK, right? They started picking Morgana into it. Like if Morgana bought.
Yeah, I think it was LCS.
It was.
I don't know. I didn't watch
LCS did it. I think the LCK did it first, even though I think it was HLE and DK. But HLE lost the game still. But laning phase, it worked exactly how it's supposed to.
Yeah,
like,
you just nullified the Ziggs.
Ziggs couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, Ziggs had a problem. So the idea is, Ziggs creates a neutralizing lane. If you take it against Varus, Varus gets murdered. But then if a Draven is picked on Ziggs, Draven murders Ziggs. Because what are you going to do against Draven?
Yeah, no,
What are you going to do against Draven?
He's going to run you down.
Nothing.
So, moving on now to, like, another matchup that I think is... Well, let's just...
Wait, do we have a consensus on the bot lane thing?
I think the bot lane is just a stomp for EDG.
EDG
It's a stomp for
seriously.
him.
Yeah, their versatility is just
Like I don't think there's a difference between Ming and Mako. Like Ming
Yeah.
and Mako, I think are playing at similar levels, but it's like the difference between Gala and Viper right now. It's miles high.
It's a slight AD carry gap, just a bit,
slight,
just a slight AD carry gap.
just slight. Yeah, Viper's just playing really well right now, honestly.
On
So
the other hand, though, like if we're talking about I mentioned damage shares for the team before, and now let's move to the highest damage member on RNG and their star player, Xiaohu. Xiaohu has
okay,
been sticking for now to picks that, as we said, he has been playing the Lee Sin, he has been playing the Viegos, he has been playing the Gwen, all to various success. He rarely is, if ever, the reason why his team loses. His team has, has a bunch of issues, but Zhao is always a shining star of the entire team. On the other hand, you have a player that has shown we go to Flandre. Flandre gets given less resources by his team, comparable to Scout, and he's been playing basically two champions this split. He's been playing Set and he's been playing Gwen. And
I
Set
pulled
is
out
what?
Jax today,
Yeah.
at least. So we know we play three.
Nocturne,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Nocturne.
Oh yeah, but
Okay,
But
there we
Nocturne's
go.
often not left open. Nocturne's often
no,
not left
definitely
open.
not. But I mean, these are all like he played Nar, Renekton, Wukong, Lee Sin, and Nocturne and Viego, but only once. So he has been playing mostly this style with the set, where I think he's a champion that first of all works with pretty much. He could be like a ganking,
Anything.
an early jungler. You could play the Volibear, the Xin with him. You can play an AP jungler with him. You can play the Udyr with him. Even the Echoing when they played it, I don't know if they played with set, but you can run with it. And also, it's a champion that is really good, I think, at neutralizing offensive lane because he's very hard to dive, and it's very hard to get much ahead
Yeah.
of a set. Do you think RNG should bother throwing a ban that way in order to enable Xiaohu to get an advantage? Because probably that's going to be where they want to look for an advantage, right? Slayer, you go first.
So here's the thing. I think Chahu may have a slight champion problem going against EDG.
Okay.
The problem is, if you see, I'm not sure. You can correct me on this.
Mhm.
When was the last time he played Lee Sin top?
Actually,
Was it before 11.13 or not?
oof, I'll have to check. You go on with your point. I'm gonna check in a second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check
So
real quick.
so my point is, recently he's been playing a lot of Viego, right? I'm not sure if he's played Lee Sin after 11.13 hit, because 11.13 took that did that nerf on Lee Sin, like
The nerf,
particularly the laning nerf. It's not a jungle nerf. That's why some people have been defaulting to play in jungle. Like some teams have been doing that now. So I think, and from what we have seen of Lee Sin so far from 11.13, most of it has been played in the mid lane. So the thing is, has 11.13 taken Lee Sin top out of the picture? Or has it come to a situation where teams are like, we can't quite pick it anymore? It's like, there lies the question, because if that's the case, then all Zhao is left is Viego. He's been excellent at it, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But let's say EDG say, okay, we're gonna leave off the Renekton. I know Crane's gonna pick it. We all know that. Wade's gonna probably pick an AP jungler. We're fine. Let's ban the Viego. Let's see what Zhao does then.
Yeah.
Then you put the situation where, because, and I believe, even though Flandre has played a lot of set, I think Flandre has a lot of picks in his bag.
Okay.
I think he's got a lot of picks. He's just not pulling it out because he doesn't need to. Like, he did pull out the Jax today.
True.
And
He did a counter matchup against the Camille.
Yep.
Yeah, he did pull out the Jax.
And because LGD left off the Nocturne, you're like, hey, OP pick open. Why not I take that?
Yeah.
And then murder everyone. He
Okay.
pretty much murdered everyone at this point. So the thing is, I think he has a lot of picks. Like, remember Spring Split? He picked up the Sejuani top. He was
Yeah.
I think he was the first guy.
He
So-
was.
So it's like, I think he has picks in his bag. It's
Okay.
like he's
I mean, it's
not
Flandre
doing
we're
it.
talking about, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy probably has a champion ocean behind him.
No, I don't. I think he's gonna say, okay, I don't need to pick it. when I do, I will.
Okay.
Now the question is whether Zhahu can do it.
Mhm.
We all agree that Zhahu is probably has to carry the team for RNG.
Yeah.
He's so far been carrying the team. Now, if you put him in a situation where he has to pick someone like a Nar or like other picks, not a Viego, not a Lee Sin,
Yeah.
what do you do then? Where's the answer? Like, does Zhahu play other champions? What does he play? What's his go-to? Like,
I mean,
It,
if
Yeah, go on.
we're going to see what like RNG have done already with Wei, he can fall back to his spring picks, right? Maybe
Yeah.
the Nar, maybe stuff like that. Camille back in the LPL meta too. He has played that but a few times in the spring, so he can possibly pick that up. But yeah, as we saw, Flandre has the counter ready, so yeah, it's a very tough decision. But here's the thing, I don't know. Xiaohu, he has kind of been carrying in spite of being put at a disadvantage.
yeah.
He's the type of guy. He's the type of guy who's able to do that. It's kind of an intangible with him, at least from what we've seen this year and the way he's just been playing all around.
Hmm.
So I still think that maybe putting the eggs in the Xiaohu basket may be the key for RNG. If they can put like Flandre down, that's a big exploit that possibly RNG can do in order to win the matchup.
All right.
The other point there is
Yeah.
Flandre has been one of the most influential parts of EDG. It's
Mhm.
like if you unlock him, he starts roaming around, he starts making plays, he starts taking some active parts in the team fight. It's like he's a big part of EDG. If you put him out, that that is a winning formula for RNG.
Yeah. The
But
curveball you
but
the
then
curveball you mentioned. The curveball you mentioned
yeah,
earlier. Just try and disrupt this synergy that they have around the map. Stop some movement.
yeah,
Which I think.
stop the movement.
Yeah. Which I think
Yeah,
also is something that. I mean, if we think about MSI RNG and what RNG was like in spring, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's similar in concept to what we saw from RNG, where they were a well-oiled machine because they had parts that could move around the map and get Xiaohu
yeah,
rolling. And then Xiaohu
yes,
would move to side lanes and will control the flow of the game through his position
yes.
on the side lane. So, as a closing statement of sorts, who do we take winning this matchup? Personally, let's be real, EDG to 0. I I think the bot lane difference is too huge. I think Scout has been playing exceptionally. I think Krine is gonna struggle a lot and not be able to make an impact towards the top lane to help Xiaohu. And I feel like if you have like mid lane and bot lane with very big advantages for EDG, then you have GG, which is free to go help Flandre, and then Xiaohu is completely neutralized and it turns into a stomp.
but you Slayer, you go first. What do you
Yeah.
think?
It's tough because 2-0 makes sense. 2-0 is logical based on how they've played. 2-0 is logical.
Okay.
But a part of me is saying it's 2-1 because
Okay.
I feel like RNG is not going to go down like this is
Silently.
not going to go down easily. They're going to say okay, we're going to fight back, and I think EDG is going to win 2-1. My
Okay.
only I agree with most of the points you said.
Mhm.
My only question is like the only thing that I can see that might flip the entire series on RNG's favor is Wei.
Okay.
This might be time you to pick out these picks other than an Olaf that you can completely take over the game. Someone needs to help Xiao. Xiao can't do this alone.
Okay.
It's like there's going to be more patches. We're going to see more patches. I think 11.14 has some nerfs to Viego as well, right?
Mhm.
So they're going to keep doing this. They're going to keep nerfing these champions that Zhao is going to rely on. So she's going to have to pick the slack somewhere else.
Yeah.
It has to come from somewhere.
And for you,
So
Miles?
Miles, go ahead.
Vash, you know me as the optimistic type, right?
Oh god.
Oh god. Oh
If you
god.
say 2-1 RNG, I'm gonna cancel the show right now. Go on.
2-1 RNG.
Oh god. Okay,
And
guys.
here's the thing.
This
Here's
is a
the thing.
wrap. This is a wrap. This is a
I was
wrap.
talking about
Thanks for tuning.
I was talking about the
go.
hot takes, right?
Yeah.
I think the X factor for RNG may be crying.
What?
That's a controversial take. That's a very spicy take. Please elaborate.
I don't know. Just from my eye test, from the
Mm-hmm.
way I've seen RNG plays, I feel like recently Krine has been playing extremely well. I've said that already before. But I think, how do I put this? in a way that Reddit won't kill me or something.
Oh,
Go
I
Reddit's
go
gonna
think,
go
kill you.
ahead. Just
Reddit's
yeah,
gonna kill
they
you.
will kill us anyway.
I know,
So
I know,
go
I
on.
know, I know the LPL cord is already gonna kill me for this or something like that. But I think if they give Krine a carry champion, he
Mhm.
might be able to pull one out like he did with LeBlanc
Okay.
in the last series. If I'm not sure, but if they fail to give Xiaohu a lead, I think Krine may end up as the secondary carry that
Okay.
could make all the difference for his team. I'm not sure if Gal is reliable enough, so maybe it will have to be the solo
No.
laners for RNG.
Yeah. It has to be the. Let's be real. It has to be the solo laners. So.
No, it's like
Yep.
it has to be either Xiao or Wei. It's one of those two.
Okay.
That's the thing they can rely on. The problem is, like you say that Krang might pick up the LeBlanc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the X factor, man. That's the X factor. You know, you can
Yeah.
rely on Wei and
Who
Xiaohu, but
says
that's
Scout?
enough.
Who's to say Scout can't play Lissandra?
I mean, yeah, he
Scout
probably
does play.
can.
He does play Sandra. Yeah. He's already busted it out.
So
So yeah.
so
It's rough.
it's like you're talking
I
about a
know,
team.
I know, I know. I'm putting it
You're,
on
It's
the line,
opium.
man. I know.
It's all opium here.
It's
It's opium.
absolute
you're talking
opium.
about you're talking about a team in EDG that is versatile all across the board. Every single player,
Yeah.
every single one of those players is versatile. They can pick out anything they want. So
We'll
yeah,
have
Yeah,
I
to
don't
see.
think one pick is gonna say anything.
We'll
Yeah.
have to see. So
yeah.
as the closing part of our discussion here now, if we look at the schedule that is ahead for those teams, like we see that RNG has to play the most difficult opponents upcoming are JDG in week 7, Rare Atom in week 8, and then they have WE in week 9. They face WE and BLG in week 9. The other are like TT. They play V5 this week, which is a free win for everyone. Just let's be real.
Right?
V5 is just
Yeah.
depressing. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about RNG, right?
Yeah, RNG.
RNG,
This is
right?
the schedule they're missing. They have to play V5, EDG,
Yeah.
Up, JDG, Rare
Yeah.
Atom, TT, WE, and
Yeah.
BLG. So most of the harshest matchups are gone.
Yep.
The burning question is, do they make
I wouldn't
playoffs?
say that. I wouldn't say the harshest matchups are gone because I feel like
Mhm.
if RNG plays the same way they've been doing,
Mhm.
right? EDG is going to tear them apart,
Yes.
and then JDG is going to have JDG will have a good matchup against them
Mm.
because let's not count on JDG. Let's not count them out. Like as long as Zoom and Kanavi is there, they can pull something out.
And
Like
Yagao this
Kanavi,
season. Yagao
yeah,
as well this season.
Yagao has been excellent. Yagao has been excellent, and like if you saw the last match of JDG, JDG played really well, and
Yeah.
Kanavi in big part. So
Shaco.
Kanavi Shackle, Kanavi Shackle. So yeah, so it's like I'm not gonna count out JDG, and
Okay.
then we have Rare Atom. We already saw them.
They're good, yeah.
Yeah, they're good. Like FPX had a hard time.
But they
Still
won.
won.
Okay.
They
So
won,
yeah,
but
but
hard time. Yeah, but and then they have WE. Now the question with WE is we don't know which mid laner they're picking,
true.
which is the whole controversy altogether.
Yeah.
So
Squirt.
so
Okay, never
so
mind.
let's okay. Miles, you can go ahead with your points. I'll just at the end I'll just say if I think I'll make playoffs because I need to see like whether RNG what record do I think RNG will end up with. I
Okay.
need to just do a bit of math in my head. So go ahead, Miles.
Go Miles.
Okay, so here's what I think. Looking at the next matchups, I think RNG's most important matchups will be against WE and PLG.
Yeah.
And I'm the biggest BLG and WE fanboy, as you guys know. I'm always
I
on
know.
that hopium for WE.
Same.
I swear,
It
but
hurts. It hurts every time.
it really does. But yeah, we're talking about. I think these three teams will be like I think the last week will be exciting because it will be up to these three teams on who manages to squeeze us into playoffs. A lot of people, Hysteric said a lot of people are underrating BLG. I think so too.
Yeah.
And WE, of course, definitely a team that can go towards that towards playoffs as well.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's gonna be up to that last week, which is if you're an RNG fan watching this,
That's rough.
it's gonna be heart attack inducing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did the math. So
Okay.
based on my assumptions, like I'm expecting them to lose against EDG,
Yeah.
JDG, RA,
Yeah.
and WE.
It's
Whoa.
doomed. It's doomed.
Is
It's
it
a,
doomed?
it's a, it's yeah. With that record,
Okay,
According
it's
to,
doomed.
according to my anticipation, they'll be like I think it'll be 7 and 9. I don't know if they make it
No.
with that. Like
It's the
like
cutoff 8.
because
pretty much.
because how I went about it is basically I don't think in their current form they have any real chance of beating EDG if EDG keep playing at the high levels they've been.
Definitely.
Unless
Unless you're
RNG
Miles.
turns back the clock. Unless RNG turns back the clock. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Well,
Just turn back the clock and like, hey, cool, we're back. So other than that, and then you have JDG. JDG's like, in my
Strong.
opinion, I put JDG in like the top esports category where you don't know what they're gonna be.
Okay.
Like at any given day, they can completely stomp anyone. Like that's JDG. And then you have RA. We already saw RA, very consistent team. They're similar to EDG in a sense. They're very similar to
the
EDG.
budget
Ex-
EGG.
Yeah, it's
No,
budget.
no. It's not budget EDG in a sense. Like we can't say Flounder and Cube are the same type of players. They're very different. But
True. And
but
iBoy.
Yeah,
they have
iBoy
yeah.
is
iBoy, yeah.
iBoy.
Like the
50-50
like very,
iBoy. Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
you know, it's like it's very different. They're very different teams, but RA is still very consistent. So I
Mhm.
don't know if like FPX had a hard time against them. So I don't know
Yeah.
if RNG in the current form does that. And then you have WE. I'm expecting WE to like
Get it
like,
together. Me too,
not
man.
get together in the sense that they finally decide, hey, we can't play Mole anymore. There's something wrong there. There's something
Yeah.
seriously wrong there. They can't play Mole because something ticks them off that when they play Mole, they just keep losing, even if they swap back Shanks. There's something wrong there. So I think it's like a situation in JDG when they got GA, but they had to play Yagao, and Yagao's still there, and he's playing really well. Just like
Yeah.
teams respond with different players differently. So I guess you gotta say like if that's the case, I don't think RNG makes playoffs.
Yeah. I'm
And
also
that's
starting
actually
to
a
doubt.
shocker. They won. They
MSI.
won. They won MSI. They won MSI. They pretty much smurfed on them, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna make playoffs."
It's
What?
yeah. I think the start of the season was too bad. I
That was
also
terrible.
don't
That
think.
was terrible. That was terrible. Like them
Man,
losing.
am
To,
I
I
on
think,
some hopium or something? Am I the only
You
RNG
You are
supporter
on
here?
you are on mad open.
Am I am
Yeah.
I only the one mad on hopium here?
Like-
'Cause
Yeah.
I think
Like-
RNG are are on an upward trajectory. They seem to be getting better and better.
Okay.
I don't know if it's completely enough to beat EDG like
Yeah.
this week, but I think it's enough to beat the others. And I don't know. I feel like RA,
Yeah.
despite how good they can be, I think they hit somewhat of a skill ceiling because Fofo can only take them so far.
Yeah.
Honestly. And if
That's fair.
if they just put RNG on a neutralizing game where they just put Cryan on something that can neutralize Fofo, I think they take it in that case.
Yeah, can be.
when we
Uh,
talk about RNA, let's not forget Leyan. He's been playing well.
Okay,
Well,
fine, yeah, fine.
le-
Leon,
Guys, we're gonna keep Veratum maybe for next week. Actually, I'm gonna check the matches and see if
Oh,
RA
ho,
has any
ho.
spicy matchup. They do play BLG, so that might be our topic for next week, but we'll see. And
We'll
let's close the episode by talking about EDG and just saying, okay, EDG are locked in playoffs already. They're 10-1. They're 11.
Yeah.
They're 10-1. They have beaten
Don't
pretty
you
much
dare
everyone.
say 11-1. You don't you dare say 11-1.
No,
until
it's
until
10-1. It's
over.
10-1. No, so and
I'm gonna come up with a hot take about EDG. I'm gonna come up with a hot take.
drop it.
Yeah, what is it?
They don't lose a single series from this point forward.
Yo.
Oh,
With everyone. I know they play LNG, they play FPX, they play RNG, they play WE, they play like they've
Yeah.
got some good teams against them. I don't think they lose any single one of them. I think this is it. I think like
This
say,
is it. Finally,
This is it.
EDG will win.
no, because
This
the
is
way
big.
I see it, right?
Yeah.
Because the way I see it, right? I don't think we have any idea how long Crisp is gonna be out. So let's leave that aside. So like the way I see it, like even though except FPX,
Yeah.
which I think might beat EDG. Except for that, I don't think any other team is in the right form to beat this team
Yeah.
because they look like they're on another stratosphere by themselves.
Yeah.
They look like they have some kind of hive mind going. Like they know what to do. They know where to go. They know how to do it. They know why to do it. Their drafts are good. Plays are good. Like there's very little flaws to pick out from EDG. Like I don't think except for FPX anyone beats them, even if FPX does. Like
Okay,
All right.
so
Like,
here's the
Nice.
thing:
yeah.
Are they the DK of this year?
I think they are. I feel like they're the monkey of this. Like,
I wouldn't go as far. I wouldn't go as far.
Really?
really?
There's
You
only
just said
one
they
reason
beat
for
everyone.
No, I think they beat everyone, but
Mhm.
I think there's only one reason
Okay.
because every year we've seen that in most of the years, World's meta has always changed because of
Yeah.
some patch. I like that's the thing with that. Like whether EDG is capable enough to adapt on the fly if the World's meta just completely
Oh, yeah,
turns
that's
on
gonna
its
be a
Yeah.
tough one.
Yeah, because we never expected MSI to have like Rumbles, Morganas. Like we expected like when the spring splits ended, we are like, hey, they played the Olafs, the Hekarims, the
Mhm.
Udyr, and then all of a sudden MSI Morganas, Rumbles, trade Morgana Rumble, trade Morgana
Audio.
and Udyr,
Yeah.
trade Rumble and Udyr. I mean, that's the only way to go. Like, and then we come to summer and it's all Dianas and
Yeah.
Zinzaos. Like, I don't expect any one of them to fall off, but it's like if they do make a change that completely says this is over, like
Mm.
completely change. Like Akshan comes in and completely ruins Rift, ruins legal, ruins like, hey, I'm gonna dominate this place. Like it's like if that happens, like, and I don't think it's a far-fetched idea, Vash. If you think about it,
No, I know.
remember Pantheon? Remember Pantheon rework?
Yeah.
The first time we
Yeah.
released, Pantheon was like, what the hell is this?
Well, Beryl sure hopes that he comes back as a support. By the way, that I
Yeah.
can tell you.
Oh, Beryl. Oh,
So,
I do
Beryl.
have I do have one
Miles.
thing
Yeah.
about EDG though. The thing is, I don't know. I feel like I won't have faith in EDG until I see their form in
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
For
Same.
me.
So I guess we all agree here that EDG most likely gonna end up the season in first place, and then we have to see
Yeah, regular
playoffs.
season at least first place.
Easily.
All right.
But they'll still lose to RNG. Hopefully.
Okay, your hope.
They're not going to lose to RNG.
You know what? I think this is a perfect statement to end this episode on as we draw near to the
Yeah.
1 hour mark. So
Yeah.
I say then, as a conclusion, we said EDG, great team. RNG, maybe coming back up. They struggling, but maybe they can get it. It's gonna be a hype matchup, and I think the rest of the week is also have some other bangers. And for next week, we're gonna choose 2 more teams. They're gonna play in week 8, and
Do we preview them? Or like
we're
who are
gonna
we
be in
picking
week
for
7.
next week?
Let's see.
Week 7.
Week 7. I think it might actually be because we have Suning versus FPX, which is a
There's
spicy
Toppy's
matchup.
first and IG2. There's Toppy's first and IG2. You know, we might as well talk about IG.
I
Do
don't want
we?
to talk
IG?
about IG. I don't want to talk
Spain.
about. Actually,
It's Spain.
I think the most interesting matchup that we might want to see between a team that has started strong and is struggling a bit right now, in my opinion, and a team that has started horribly but is picking up steam, it's Suning versus RNG.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, sure. We can do that one.
We're going to talk about RNG again?
No, LNG.
LNG.
or LNG.
LNG.
Suning versus LNG. I think that that might be the matchup that, first of all, brings Munchables against us if we say that Suning is gonna lose, and then I think it's
Wait, are you
the.
saying Sunni's gonna lose?
No.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see if
We'll
this
check the
time.
stats.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I think it will depend.
Yeah.
The Suning, like week 7 Suning has a tough week, but I think it's gonna depend.
Well,
I do think they're gonna win against LNG.
well, let's save it for the next episode. Let's not waste some
Yeah.
precious material, guys. All right, that
Yeah.
will be all for the first episode of the Plebcast. I'm gonna thank you once again, Miles and Slayer, for joining me in today's discussion, and I will be seeing you all, well, next week. Take good care. Bye.
Next week. Bye bye.